Brodes Media.
Yeah, that's right. The Fightins, who are now 2-0 on the season after beating the Oakland A's 4-2. You saw power. Nick Castellanos with the bomb to center field. You saw Rhys Hoskins and Jean Segura go back-to-back and exploded. And that was right after a nice 3-6-3 double play. And Rhys Hoskins bringing in a nice little defense. Jean Segura earlier in the game had a nice play defensively as well. I know, late. Bryce Harper missed one in right field. JT Realmuto, the ball kind of hit his glove and it got wonky, but Knebel got a double play that was massive, and they were able to rock and roll from there. This team just tells you what they're going to do, and that's mash the damn baseball all around the diamond. What's so hilarious to me and funny to me is here's Cole Irvin on the bump, lefty. You throw in Bohm, and we'll get more into Bohm as the conversation continues. He gets the first two outs rather quickly, right? Kyle Schwarber, there's a shift. Maybe in future years, that's going to be a nice single through the right side of the infield, but right now it's a shift, so he gets out. JT Realmuto gets out. Bryce Harper almost hits an opposite field bomb. It ends up going foul and slicing a little bit left of the foul pole. He gets hit by a pitch, and Castellanos swing and bang, and it was a beauty. So that's what this team is going to do. That's how they're going to beat you. They're going to mash baseballs. And oh, by the way, Kyle Gibson, 10 strikeouts, 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 2 hits, and he put on a clinic. What was awesome about what he was able to accomplish is his ability to use all of his tricks. You think about the changeup. There were some changeups where I fell over in my chair. Changeup, 3 straight changeups, and he's fooling the hitters, right? You mix in a slider. You see a cutter. If you're a lefty or a righty, it doesn't matter. You just had no way in hell of hitting Kyle Gibson cleanly today, and that was crazy good. You know, it's funny, I had a debate today on The Fanatic about Aaron Nola, and there were some callers who thought that I was being too harsh about what I saw out of him and the fact that he totally ran out of gas in the 7th inning in the opening day game yesterday. It's like you're being too ridiculous. The analytics and the metrics will tell you that Aaron Nola was just fine, and honestly, he was fine until he wasn't, and that has always been the problem with Aaron Nola as of late. Is it's not like he can't do anything. He could do something, and he dominates you for a little bit of time until he doesn't, and he blows up. Do you see the difference in blowing up and not blowing up? Do you see the difference in accomplishing your goal and getting through 7 and continuing to strike out compared to a full count bomb after leaking gas and allowing a few guys on? This is what we need Aaron Nola to be. And this is a monster difference. Now Alvarado is able to sneak in there, and you get the save from Corey Knebel. It's night and day from the Aaron Nola experience that we got on Game 1. Just to put it in perspective, just so you can see what I'm talking about in terms of the difference. I love this damn baseball team, though, right? Rhys Hoskins. I love Rhys Hoskins when, outside of the homer, and you could see the reaction from Bryce Harper in the dugout. Whenever someone hits a bomb, you're seeing Castellanos throw the bat. You're seeing a bat flip from Jean Segura. You're seeing the same from Rhys Hoskins, even though he knew he made good contact. But it's kind of interesting to think about where the ball landed. It just got over the fence. Not that it matters. Get over. A homer is a homer is a homer is a homer. But the way that he reacted, you would have thought it was more like Jean Segura's, who was maybe 5 or 6 rows back compared to where Rhys's landed. But as soon as he swung that bat and felt that contact, he looked right over at the bench and knew instantly, or the dugout, I should say, and knew within 5 seconds. But the ball didn't necessarily land in a situation to make you feel as comfortable as maybe, they should have as a whole. This squad is going to be crazy good. This team is going to be awesome. Even Alec Bohm. How about Alec Bohm getting into the mix here and working on some things? And he's at the plate. His first at-bat, he drives it into left center field. He gets a double, and then he hits a ball through the middle, and then he even walks. So his first 3 at-bats of the new year, we're watching an Alec Bohm that gets on base 3 times. He ended up getting picked off, but I don't think that's enough to kill momentum. The problem with him is you got to yank him out of the game in the 7th for your defensive lineup. Look, I've been very harsh on Alec Bohm, and I'm very okay with admitting that I have been insanely hard on him because I demand more. I think that he has a skill set that works at the plate in this league for sure, but we'll see what this means for the defensive alignment and how, that is going to cause some problems. It's too reactionary after one game, but this is better than the alternative. I think someone like Alec Bohm, when you want to discuss the mental side of the game and the mental approach, mental toughness, if you will, knowing that Bryson Stott had a really strong game in game 1. He had 2 hits in that game. He had an RBI. There was sloppiness at third for Bryson Stott, but if you know that the competition, and it's friendly competition, it's something to motivate one another, but if you're Alec Bohm and you saw how last year played out, you look at Stott and you know you're getting your first nod against Cole Irvin. You got to make the most of it. And he definitely did. So I'm pleasantly surprised with his response. And I'm just going to say that there's nothing else I'd rather be than wrong about Alec Bohm. I'm not going to fight anybody or scream at anyone to try and defend my case on my initial reaction to what I thought would be best for this franchise. I also stated this too, to be fair. In Dave, I trust. And when I think about Dave Dombrowski and the roster decisions that he made at the 40-man rotation mark, the 40-man roster mark, I should say, it was all about me having my faith in Dave Dombrowski, knowing that he understands the damn game. So if this is something that he felt was strong and he felt that this would be the best thing to make this team win baseball games, then I was all on board because Dave is a man that I'm willing to sacrifice for any single day of the week. And you saw Alec Bohm really look good with some of his swings. Not that you didn't see that at all in spring training, because there were many circumstances where he had the 1 home run that was awesome in Baltimore in spring training. He went the other way where Jean Segura ended up getting thrown out at third, being aggressive on the base path. So that's probably part of this team's identity too, may I add, because in opening day, you saw Bryce try and take 2, even though he got underneath the tag and he probably should have been thrown out. That was part of the identity there. Nick Castellanos, it's actually something that I crack up about, because when we were in the stands, when Castellanos had that big RBI on opening day to give the team some insurance, and he got thrown out at third, the loudness and the electricity that was rolling through the ballpark, I don't know who in their right mind, when you have that type of adrenaline rush rolling through your body, wouldn't have tried to take third there, right? We're all laughing around going, yeah, I probably would have done the same thing too. Yeah, I probably would have tried to go there too, because everyone's cheering you on and going bonkers. You just feed off the reaction and you start running. You end up not making it, but we'll see in terms of the growth in that area of base running. I got no problem if you're going to run into some outs, if that's something that works for this team. We want you to know that we are coming. We want you to know that you're going to be on your toes when we put the ball in play, because I hate to break it to you, we are going to put the ball in play, so be ready. You're going to have to get to that damn ball fast. We're going to put pressure on you to have to make some throws and maybe force some throws that they don't feel strong doing, and bada bing, bada boom, you get an extra bag. With that, though, you'll probably run into some problems at the same time and run into some outs, but that's just kind of the life when you are this team that is raking. That's what they do. They rake. And it helps when your pitching dominates. I loved it. The change up, the cutter, the slider. You had no idea what was coming. And neither did the A's hitters, and they looked fooled. They look frustrated, and you can feed off that body language, right? If you're Kyle Gibson and you're going as strong as you are, and you see a roll of the eyes, or maybe like a kick of the bat after a strikeout, or maybe a bang on the cleat where you don't like a pitch that you swung at, you step out of the box, you start banging your bat on your cleat, and you can see maybe that there's some sort of situation where they're talking to themselves and they're speaking to themselves underneath of their breath. That's something that Kyle Gibson can notice, and then you start pouring in some more, and you got nothing you can do about it, and that was incredible. You're going for a sweep in the first series of the season. You can't draw it up any better to start a year. And we've seen teams win in the past, Phillies teams, right? You would sweep the Braves and you'd get all excited. It's a long journey. There's going to be a lot of ups, right? And there's going to be a lot of downs as well. And I'll use Didi as an example. Didi had a tough day. He's a lefty going up against a lefty in Cole Irvin. Not that Cole Irvin had some strikeouts, swinging. And this is the damage that can be done lefty-lefty. You're swinging at pitches that's on the outside part of the plate and even kind of bleeding more towards not even on the strike zone. It's a few inches wide, and he's swinging at it just based off of the way that it's coming in on him as he's at the plate. It's game 2 here, right? It's game 2 of DD. I see people in the chat saying, let's trade DD at the deadline because he's going to be last year's DD, and you can plug Stott in to play every day with Stott and Bohm. That might be the thought process for next year, even though I am very afraid of long-term Alec Bohm defensively at third base because he is a butcher. But in what universe, in a hypothetical world, is Didi going to be so bad for you, like painfully awful for you, 209 bad, and you think at the deadline somebody's going to want to trade for that? Does that even make sense? Does it even make sense to write off Didi Gregorius right now because of playing a game today where it's lefty-lefty and he had a tougher time? No, that's crazy. Just like any of it. There's some real things that it doesn't matter what game of the season it is, you know that you could rely on. For example, Nick Castellanos, Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber. These guys are going to hit a lot of home runs. All right, I don't need to see 20 games to know that. I'm not going to tell you the first 2 games is too small of a sample size. I've seen Schwarber in Fenway Park in Boston. I've seen him in other areas of his career destroy the ball. I've seen Castellanos, a deep drive to left field. I've seen it all. Hell, we've seen unbelievable moments from broadcast with Nick Castellanos up. We know that he can do that. So there are some things that you can definitely 1,000% put your mortgage down on when it comes to a bet. Didi Gregorius and who Alec Bohm is and who Bryson Stott is. I have fun with Bryson Stott. I have fun with the energy surrounding him and how much I'm a big fan of the way that he plays and his approaches to the plate. But only time will tell for some of these other side stories. Who's Kyle Gibson? I have no idea. He's a savvy vet who can eat up some innings, give you games like this, and just, give you a good, strong, solid 6 innings, a good quality start. He's a back end of your rotation, eat up innings guy. That's what he does. Maybe there's more in there this year, and he's feeling himself a little bit, and he's feeling some confidence, and he gives you a ride like he did prior to the trade, where he was before Dave Dombrowski made the pickup and traded Spencer Howard for Ian Kennedy and Kyle Gibson for a year and a half. Maybe there's something to that. I can't rely on that fully yet until I see more. There's some things that will take more time to learn. Didi's one of them. Bohm is one of them. Stott is one of them.